Hey there, this is LA Calling, and you're watching Brutally Delicious with Bruce Moore.
Hey, welcome to Brutally Delicious. I'm Bruce Moore, and today we've got an excellent show in store for you. This time, sticking with our ethnic, multinational thing, we're going to go all the way over to France and speak with the guys from Lizzard. And if you stay tuned, we're going to see what they have cooked up for us today.
Hi, this is Will from Lizzard.
And Katie from Lizzard.
Now that your new record, Out of Reach, is complete, how do you feel about it, and are you satisfied with the outcome?
Well, we're pretty pleased really. It was great from recording it, and we're really pleased with the result, very satisfied with the sound, and the fans seem to like the album, so that's all good.
Yeah, we're getting some really positive reviews, so that's always encouraging. And so we're already thinking about the next one.
What's your writing process like? Do you guys all write together, or is it more the efforts of one particular member of the band?
Well, it's usually Matt on guitar who turns up with a riff, and then we'll jam around it, and we'll use whatever comes out and make that into a song, which is usually quite intricate, and then we'll pare it down until it's more of a song format. So there's a lot of jamming goes on and improvising, and it's great fun.
Yeah, it's quite a lengthy process, the writing really. It's, we just lock ourselves away in our practice room for days, and jam until the song comes together. It's quite a classic way of writing for a rock band really.
And we always write the lyrics last. The melodies are always together, and then we write the lyrics on top of that at the end.
When you write, are you writing with the live setting in mind, or is that really not even an issue?
Yeah, we always write with the live setting in mind. We always want to play things that we can play, what we call things that we can play live. And everything we write is what we can play live, so we never add anything that we won't be able to reproduce on stage.
Yeah, we sort of go from the principle that if it sounds good in the practice room, then it's going to sound good on stage.
What's the story behind the name of the record, Out of Reach?
Well, the name of the record is Out of Reach, so that's the theme of the album. It's really all about what everyone's after, like trying to get to something that always seems to be slightly out of your grasp. So it's all about that really. Each song revolves around that, and also about trying to find something within yourself that you can never quite get to, but that everyone's striving towards.
What's the story behind the name of the band, Lizzard?
Well, lizards, there's lots of lizards around in France, especially where we rehearse. So the name just kind of came from that really. There's always a lot of them hanging around. So that was just prompted the name really.
Do you have any rituals at all before you hit the stage? If so, what are they?
Well, we usually just get warmed up. We usually make sure that the three of us are together for quite a while before we get on stage. And sometimes we'll kind of sing through the songs and stretch out, warm up, get the guitars in tune and just kind of get into the vibe really. That's about it, nothing special really, just making sure the three of us are in the same kind of vibe.
Sometimes have a peek at the audience before we get up. That's about it really.
Yeah.
You guys are from France. What's the hard rock, heavy metal scene like over there? Do you receive a lot of support from the kids and the scene itself?
Well, there is a kind of metal scene in France, but it's still underground. We sort of get some support from people who are into that music, but there's not that many of them, I suppose. So it's quite hard in France really. I mean, a lot of touring bands, whether they're American or German or English, they don't come to France, or if they do, they just do one gig in Paris. So it's not it's not easy being in France, I think.
No.
What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you on tour or in one of your shows? Let's keep it PG-13 because it's a family show.
Well, most of the strangest things are probably not suitable for television, are they?
Best not repeated here.
No, really.
Nothing particular, really. Nothing more unusual than anyone else. I guess you always meet some weird and crazy people and have a load of fun.
Yeah, it's the best part of touring, really, is meeting interesting people. And, yeah, that's about it, really, for strangeness.
When you have some free time and you're not on the road or recording, what is it you like to do?
Well, chill out, enjoy living in the countryside. I like to do lots of horse riding and sport and stuff like that.
Well, I'm into sound engineering. I do live sound for a few bands from time to time, and I've got a small home studio, so we record demos for bands. That's always good fun. Apart from that, just
chilling out.
Yeah.
Cooking,
Well,
eating.
we live in the country, so there's always things to do, and don't get bored too easily around here.
You have any culinary training at all, or you're just self-taught?
Well, we all like to cook. We have to cook, so no training. But we're all into cooking and really careful with ingredients and stuff like that. I mean, we try and buy organic when we can, and fair trade stuff. But apart from that, we live in France, so that's what people do, is they cook and they eat.
Times are tough these days when you're not recording and you're not touring. You guys have jobs? If so, what are they?
Well, Matt and I do teaching music, drums and guitar, and I do lots of painting, so I sell paintings, and yeah, just general trying to get by, but mainly we don't have much time for other jobs anyway.
No, like I said, it's mainly sound engineering for me, so...
But the band's a full-time job, really.
Yeah, and these days, most of the work involved for a modern band is internet and finding gigs, dealing with kinds of things that come with being a band.
What's next for Lizzard?
Lots of touring this year, hopefully. We want to go on the road, and then writing the next album and recording it hopefully this year, and doing some new music videos. What else are we doing?
Yeah, that's it, really.
Alright, so now we're at my favorite part of the show, it's the eating. And I know we're doing this via remote, but I'm going to follow you into the kitchen, and we'll see what you've got in store for us today. So if you're ready, the camera's yours.
Hi, this is Will from Lizzard, and today we're going to cook chocolate mousse. So, main ingredients for chocolate mousse is chocolate and eggs. So you're going to need 3 eggs and about 180 grams of organic chocolate. So best to get fair trade if you can from Trader Joe's or shops like that. So you're going to get 180 grams of chocolate, and we're going to grate that into small chunks so it melts quickly. Best to get dark chocolate. There we go. So we're going to grate. So when all the chocolate's grated, next step is get your eggs ready. So you need 3 eggs. You're going to separate the whites from the yolks. chocolate mousse recipes don't use the yolks, but this one does. Gives it a bit of a chewy kind of texture. Next step is I'm going to melt the chocolate, so we're going to use some cream, about 100 millilitres or half of one of these, and we add in a little bit of milk. So about 2 or 3 mil, about a spoonful like that. So we're going to bring this to the boil. Put all the chocolate in the bowl somehow. So once the milk's boiling, don't want to boil it too much, pour it into the chocolate and that melts it all. You whisk it for a couple of minutes until all the chocolate's melted nicely. And then I usually add a little bit of butter, about 20 grams or so. Cut it into small pieces so it melts quicker. Stir that in until it melts. Next we're going to beat the egg whites. The egg whites are all nice and fluffy, to soft peaks. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, about 10-15 grams. Depends on the chocolate. If the chocolate's really bitter, then put a bit more sugar in. So let's beat that in. And this is where we add the egg yolks. So only stir for a bit because they'll make the fluffy go away. And this is where we mix it with the chocolate, about a quarter of the fluffy stuff. Mix that in with the chocolate. You don't want to stir it too much, just want to keep as much air in it as we can. So it stays light and fluffy. Then we're going to pour that into the egg whites. So you fold it more than stir it. So keep stirring it in until it's all the same colour. And then I'm going to pour it into little pots. So depending on the size of your pots, you might have 4, 5 or 6 portions. Or you can put it all into one big bowl and then scoop it out later. And then what you're going to do is put them in the fridge for a couple of hours before eating them. And then before you serve them, you can sprinkle some decorative stuff on, either grated chocolate or coconut, things like that. And then eat them.